In the 1970s, George and Mildred became a beloved staple of British television, bringing humor, heart, and relatable suburban drama to audiences. This sitcom, with its quirky characters and sharp wit, captured the complexities of love and everyday life, making it unforgettable. Join us as we take a nostalgic look at the iconic cast, the show's impact, and where the stars are now, decades after the credits rolled. Born March 7, 1925, died November 16, 2018. George A. Cooper guest starred as Jerry, George's friend and fellow layabout. He brought dry humor and working-class wit to the show. Cooper had a long and successful career in British drama and comedy, with fans fondly remembering his later role as the caretaker in Grange Hill. He passed away in 2018 at the age of 93. Born January 8, 1934, died September 20, 1988. Roy Kinnear made several guest appearances and was already a well-known comic actor with a distinctive energy and lovable clumsiness. His accidental death in 1988 while filming in Spain shocked fans around the world. He remains one of the great figures in British comedy, gone far too soon. Born October 3, 1940, age 84, as of 2025. Sheila Fern portrayed Anne Formile, Geoffrey's level-headed and compassionate wife. Anne was one of the few characters who could navigate both worlds, keeping peace between her snobbish husband and the more chaotic, down-to-earth Ropers. Fern gave the character grace and warmth, offering a much-needed balance to the heightened antics around her. Fern had a notable career in British television, also appearing in The Likely Lads and Whatever Happened to the Likely Lads. She quietly retired from acting in the mid-1980s, but remains a fond memory to fans of classic British comedy. Born November 13, 1968, age 56, as of 2025. As Tristram Formile, the cheeky and curious young son of Anne and Geoffrey, Nicholas Bond Owen added a delightful spark to the series. He often served as a bridge between the clashing households, and his innocent questions and clever one-liners brought genuine charm to the screen. Bond Owen acted in a number of roles during his youth, including the Confessions film series, before eventually leaving acting to pursue a career in publishing. Though he's no longer in the public eye, he remains a nostalgic favorite among longtime fans. Born May 30, 1945, age 79, as of 2025. As the Ropers' uptight, judgmental neighbor Geoffrey Formile, Norman Eshley brought perfect comedic timing and facial expressions that spoke volumes. Geoffrey was the ultimate foil to George, prim, polished, and constantly horrified by the couple next door. Eshley's portrayal captured the essence of British class anxiety, as his character strived, and failed, to maintain a veneer of sophistication amid suburban chaos. Eshley had a strong career in theater and television before and after George and Mildred, but his role as Geoffrey remains his most celebrated. In later years, he stepped back from acting, but he is still fondly remembered for his contribution to one of Britain's most memorable sitcoms. Born September 14, 1943, age 81, as of 2025. John Lyons is a familiar face to fans of George and Mildred, where he portrayed the friendly bartender who adds warmth and charm to the pub setting that served as a backdrop for many comedic moments. Although his role was relatively minor, Lyons brought a sense of grounded, everyday humor to the show, making the pub a space where the characters could connect and banter. Known for his versatility, Lyons went on to appear in a variety of roles, most notably in A Touch of Frost, showcasing his ability to transition from comedy to drama with ease. His work in George and Mildred left a lasting impression on viewers, establishing him as a reliable character actor with a unique ability to bring levity to any scene. Please leave a comment with your thoughts. I always love to hear from everyone. Born May 24, 1948, age 76, as of 2025. James Cosmo's portrayal of Keith in George and Mildred may have been brief, but his powerful presence made a lasting impact. With his commanding voice and no-nonsense demeanor, Cosmo added a touch of gravitas to the show. Though his role was not a major one, Cosmo's ability to bring subtle complexity to a seemingly straightforward character made him memorable. He went on to become an international star, known for his roles in Braveheart, Trainspotting, and Game of Thrones, where his character, Lord Commander Mormont, became a fan favorite. Cosmo's career is a testament to his exceptional range and talent, and his time on George and Mildred is just one example of his enduring legacy in film and television. Born April 1, 1932, died September 17, 2021. Avril Elgar's portrayal of Ethel in George and Mildred is one of the standout performances in the series. As the sharp-tongued yet endearing character, Elgar brought a richness to Ethel that made her both humorous and relatable. Her ability to balance sharp wit with vulnerability was a defining feature of her performance. Elgar's work in George and Mildred was just one of many roles she played throughout her career, which also included appearances in Doctor Who and other beloved British television series. Her passing in 2021 left a void in the entertainment world, but her legacy lives on in the unforgettable characters she brought to life, especially Ethel, who remains a fan favorite. Born August 20, 1927, died August 24, 1980. Eutha Joyce was the emotional anchor of George and Mildred. As Mildred Roper, she played a woman of aspirations, refined, social climbing, and filled with longing for the respect and affection she rarely received from her husband. Joyce infused Mildred with complexity, part tragic, part comedic, wholly human. Every raised eyebrow, every sigh of exasperation carried with it a depth that few sitcom characters ever reach. Her off-screen life, however, was marked by personal struggles. Privately battling alcoholism, Joyce kept her pain well hidden. Her death at just 53, just 4 days after her birthday, and shortly before filming was due to start on a new series, was a heartbreaking shock. The loss was felt deeply, not only by her fans, but by her colleagues and friends, who knew the warmth, intelligence, and vulnerability behind the star. George and Mildred could not and did not continue without her. Born September 25, 1932, died February 1, 2025. Brian Murphy's portrayal of George Roper remains one of the most iconic performances in British sitcom history. George was a character many people recognized, an idle, unbothered man who found happiness in beer, television, and doing as little as possible. But Murphy brought him to life with a special charm. George wasn't just lazy. He was sweet in his own way, and often the unsuspecting source of enormous laughs. Following Eutha Joyce's death, Murphy continued to work steadily in television and theater, with appearances in Last of the Summer Wine, The Catherine Tate Show, and Benidorm. His versatility and longevity as an actor made him one of the most respected names in British comedy. When he passed away peacefully in 2025 at the age of 92, tributes poured in, celebrating not just the character of George, but the man who gave him such lasting life. Born March 11, 1940, died November 22, 2014. Derek Deadman brought an everyman charm to George and Mildred as the cab driver, an unassuming role that became unexpectedly memorable. In a sitcom dominated by class contrasts and domestic squabbles, Deadman's character offered a down-to-earth perspective. His appearances were short but refreshingly grounded, often reacting to the Roper's eccentricities with bewilderment or bemused patience. With his round face, thick-rimmed glasses, and affable screen presence, Deadman became a familiar face in British film and TV. He made notable appearances in shows like Porridge and Doctor Who, and went on to earn international recognition as Tom the Innkeeper in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Yet, to fans of British sitcoms, it's roles like the cab driver in George and Mildred that truly showcase his talent, characters that bring authenticity and quiet humor. Deadman passed away in 2014, but he left behind a body of work that continues to entertain and comfort audiences who appreciate the value of the everyman in comedy. Born June 16, 1915, died July 23, 1984. Anthony Sharp's role as the headmaster in George and Mildred was perfectly in line with his on-screen persona, refined, authoritative, and always just a bit too serious. His performance offered a clever foil to the more chaotic energy of the Ropers, emphasizing just how absurd their world could seem to outsiders with a stiff upper lip. Sharp was a classically trained actor, with a knack for playing officious characters: doctors, judges, politicians, usually with a satirical twist. Perhaps most famously, he appeared in A Clockwork Orange as the prison chaplain, but it was his work in comedies where his precision really shone. In George and Mildred, his headmaster character had just the right blend of decorum and awkwardness, making each appearance both funny and oddly dignified. His death in 1984 marked the loss of one of Britain's most consistent character actors. Sharp's legacy lives on through his masterful ability to embody authority while letting the comedy slip through the cracks. Please leave a comment with your thoughts. I always love to hear from everyone. Born November 14, 1930, died December 11, 1992. Michael Robbins brought warmth, wariness, and wisecracks to George and Mildred as Alf, George's long-suffering friend. Alf wasn't flashy or dramatic. He was a man of routine, pint in hand, offering wry observations about life and marriage. Robbins' performance gave Alf a distinctly British charm, part curmudgeon, part philosopher, part comic relief. Before George and Mildred, Robbins was already beloved for his role as Arthur in On the Buses, where he played a similarly world-weary husband with perfect comedic timing. He had the remarkable ability to embody the average man in a way that made viewers laugh and empathize at the same time. In George and Mildred, Alf served as both a mirror and a contrast to George. Slightly more competent, slightly more cynical, but just as stuck in the rhythm of everyday life. Robbins passed away in 1992, but his presence in British sitcoms remains unforgettable. He had the gift of making ordinariness incredibly entertaining, a talent that continues to influence British character actors today. Born August 27, 1918, died March 19, 2001. Norman Mitchell's portrayal of Mr. Clayton in George and Mildred may have been brief, but it was unmistakably effective. A veteran of British comedy, Mitchell had the rare ability to make even the smallest roles feel grounded, familiar, and genuinely funny. With his grizzled voice, expressive face, and impeccable comic timing, Mr. Clayton came across as the quintessential grumpy yet lovable neighbor, someone audiences recognized from their own lives. Throughout the 1960s and 70s, Mitchell built a prolific career with appearances in classic series like Dad's Army, Are You Being Served?, and On the Buses. He was a master of playing blue-collar working-class men, often with a hint of mischief and a twinkle in his eye. In George and Mildred, his scenes with the Ropers added authenticity to the suburban backdrop of the series, giving viewers a slice of everyday life wrapped in humor. Mitchell passed away in 2001 at the age of 82, having worked in more than 1,000 television shows, films, and stage productions. While his name may not be as immediately recognizable as the leads, his legacy in British comedy is significant, and his role as Mr. Clayton remains a testament to his enduring appeal. Please leave a comment with your thoughts. I always love to hear from everyone. Born October 14, 1912, died March 23, 1987. Reg Lye brought subtle gravitas to the role of father in George and Mildred. Though not a mainstay character, his presence carried weight. His portrayal offered a contrast to the show's lighter tones. He embodied a generation shaped by war, hard work, and stoic values. With his deep voice and measured cadence, Lye gave the character a sense of old-fashioned dignity and quiet strength. Lye's career spanned both the UK and Australia, and he was particularly known for his ability to play complex, often emotionally layered characters in both drama and comedy. In George and Mildred, his role as the father figure wasn't played for laughs. It was played for heart. His character provided context to Mildred's background and gave viewers a deeper understanding of her longings and frustrations. Though Reglai passed away in 1987, his contribution to character acting lives on. His turn in George and Mildred is remembered not for comedic exaggeration, but for the emotional grounding it gave to the otherwise whimsical world of the sitcom. Born April 7, 1909, died July 18, 1985. Robert Raglan's role as Mr. Brown in George and Mildred was a shining example of understated comedic brilliance. Best known for playing authority figures with a twist, Raglan portrayed Mr. Brown with a perfect mix of deadpan seriousness and underlying absurdity. His character often embodied the starchy, bureaucratic types that British comedy loves to poke fun at. Men who follow the rules to a fault, yet somehow still end up flustered and overwhelmed. Raglan was no stranger to British television. With appearances in shows like Dad's Army, where he played the ever-serious Colonel Pritchard, Raglan carved out a niche as the buttoned-up man in a world gone slightly mad. His performance in George and Mildred was brief but effective. It reminded audiences that humor often lies in the smallest facial expression or the most exasperated sigh. He passed away in 1985, but fans of classic British sitcoms still fondly remember his roles. Raglan's skill in bringing subtle humor to even the most seemingly rigid characters ensured he always stood out, no matter how minor the part. Thank you for being here. Every like, comment, and subscription inspires me to keep creating.